For this video, I want to do something really stupid. I want to tackle the, ever reigning question that everyone thinks about at some point. Can Overwatch 2 ever be good? Or will it ever be good? Something along those lines. And that's partially one of the reasons why I haven't posted a video in about a month. This idea has been sitting on my head for a while, and I've recorded countless videos and stuff like that. I've written countless scripts. I've deleted all of them because I haven't felt good in the way that I've approached them. But at some point, it's like, I have to really, really dedicate myself to this question. And that's where I'm at right now, because I want to put my hat into the ring per se. I can't tell you if I'll be right. I can't say if you'll agree with me, but having said nothing is worse than saying something, So that's where I'm at. The reason why it's been so difficult for me to make a video about this sort of topic is because Overwatch is a live service game, or a games as a service, however you prefer to view it. And the issue with that for me is that the game will constantly change. Whether it's cosmetic introductions to the shop and the battle pass and stuff like that, whether it's gameplay changes to, certain heroes, buffs and nerfs, etc. It can be really tough to have a consistent opinion about a game that is, like Overwatch, in which it's constantly changing. I mean, look at the upcoming season, the upcoming battle pass, the upcoming skins that'll be released. A lot of people have had mixed ideas and thoughts about this season's theme. Meanwhile, people have seemed to generally enjoy the new additions to the shop that'll be coming out. Skins coming out for Kiriko and Lifeweaver. They look fantastic and a lot of people are excited. So now you can see what I'm talking about. There's a bit of contrast between the two, People both enjoy things and don't enjoy them clearly. And that sort of balance of liking things and not liking things being present, and that ability to like or not like changing so often, season per season, update to update, it makes it hard to answer the question of whether Overwatch can be great. And I'll tell you right now, I personally think that it can, but I think it needs a few more core features. I don't think it has anything to do with seasonal updates, cosmetic updates, stuff like that. I think it needs more core features. And as silly as it sounds, I think a lot of these core features that the game needs are already, known. We've seen them in Overwatch 1. The big thing for me that I almost made a whole video about that was honestly more of a rant than anything else was a, new progression system. In Overwatch 1, we had, these little portraits around our characters where it showed, our level. It worked like a bit like the prestige system in Call of Duty. Every 100 levels or so, you would get a star. If you got like 7 stars, I think, your border would change a little bit. And that sort of system compounded over and over again. Since the game was out for about 6 years, you'd see these, very different and unique designs to players' portraits. And I thought that was really fucking cool. Like, for the longest time after Overwatch stopped receiving updates in about 2019, that's what kept me hooked. I was like, I'll be damned, I want more stars. I want a silver border on my character. I think that looks sick, and that's something that I value having. Now, in Overwatch 2, we have a progression system, but it's more tied to heroes than everything else. At the end of games, we all see those green bars fill up, and they show things like, wins. If you're playing Mercy, it's like damage amplification. If you're playing a DPS hero, it'll show your damage done, and you get levels there. But for me, that just doesn't feel valuable at all. The way that I see it, no one is checking your career profile and looking at your damage level on Soldier. No one is, it doesn't feel like it has any real weight. It feels like it's just a feature there, just so Overwatch can check off a box and say, yeah, we added that. It's present, the players have access to it. But for me, it lacks any of the real depth and meaning that it would have had in the system that we had in Overwatch 1. Back in Overwatch 1, when I had a lot of friends who played Overwatch, we'd play plenty of comp games, and we'd look over at the enemy team as we matched up and I'd say, oh, they have a player who has a silver border. There's somebody with that super cool silver gold border, like it meant something. It was recognizable. Now in Overwatch, the symbol pops up over your hero's head for about 5 seconds at the end of games, right before the play of the game plays. And that's it. All your work and whatever time you've sunk into the game is demonstrated right there for those short 5 seconds, and for the most part, it's not even noticeable. So for me, that's just a big issue for me. The second feature that I'd want added that I think would really contribute to Overwatch being a better game is a group finding system. For everybody who played Overwatch 1, I forget where it was exactly in the UI, but Overwatch 1 had a group finding system. Players could create their own groups, they'd name them, whether they want to be playing competitive or casual. You could say even in arcade mode. You could specify ranks, you could specify what role you were looking for, you could say, hey, we're just having fun. You could put an age limit, it was 18 plus, 21 plus, anyone welcomed. It was a very easy way to help support a community within the game, especially back then when I was playing on console. Now on PC, I have the option to use Discord, which I've done plenty of times and I've met a lot of cool people, but I feel like for console players, which I can speak from experience, you just don't have that. It feels like, especially for console players, a lot of Overwatch's community is locked away behind these third-party services. And it kind of feels unacceptable to have that when we've had these group finding systems in the past. It's a really weird thing to nitpick about, and I get it because I feel like, especially now on PC as I play, I haven't even had to think about not having a group finding system. But one day I was sitting here and I was like, oh my god, if I didn't sign up for Discord, find a Discord server, make an account, whatever, I wouldn't have access to this. An entire part of the community would be locked away, unseen and hidden as if it wasn't there. And for me, that just feels like a big thing. Those two features specifically, giving players the sense of progression and giving players access to other people to team up with and play with. I feel like those are two core features that help to give Overwatch a real sense of community, even more than it does now. Because obviously across social medias and stuff, there's a lot of buzz about Overwatch, but having that sort of access to that community within the game with no third-party services involved felt like a really big deal. And yeah, overall, that's what I feel like Overwatch needs to really take that next step, to being close to being greater. Not as an ever-changing game with new content and updates and services and all these things. You just need these two little core features, I feel like, and that would do a lot more for the game than these constant buffs and balances and nerfs and skin introductions and new heroes. Providing these things, I think, provides stability, and I think that would mean a lot for Overwatch right now. And before this video ends, if you have any ideas on what I should be talking about related to Overwatch, obviously I'm plugged into, the game and the happenings, but I'd prefer not to take a month break again, so if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Thank you.